Today marks the 100th day since Russian President Vladimir Putin's troops invaded the country, and heavy fighting continues there as President Zelenskyy estimates that 20% of Ukraine is now under Russian control. ABC News' Britt Clennett joins me now live from Kyiv, Ukraine, for more on this. So, Britt, you were hearing Ukraine's media is calling today's milestone 100 days of fortitude, and certainly the way Ukrainians in the armed forces and civilian life stood up and met this challenge has amazed the world. What can you tell us about what this day means there?
Well, this is a somber milestone, Terry. President Zelenskyy, in one of his defiant video addresses, marked 100 days by praising the resistance, saying that victory will be ours. But we heard from NATO, the head of NATO, saying that this will be a prolonged war, that this could be a war of attrition. And again, 100 days, Terry, with no end in sight. This is 100 days of needless death, of needless destruction, of needless heartache.
And, Britt, we're learning more, I guess, about electronic warfare, obviously a crucial part of 21st and 20th century warfare, for all that matters. How this type of technology is shaping the war in Ukraine. What can you tell us about that?
Well, broadly speaking, this includes defeating drones. This means intercepting GPS signals. It could mean jamming radio or mobile communications. It could mean eavesdropping on communications. And going into this war, and this is interesting, that the perception was that the Russian forces, that Russia had a huge advantage in electronic warfare. But when Russia failed to capture this capital, Kyiv, that it kind of changed that perception, and that it thought that perhaps these critical electronic communications weren't as advanced as initially thought.
And the Ukrainians certainly had upped their game in that regard under U.S. tutelage, really, since 2014. So the U.S. now training Ukrainians how to use those HIMARS artillery systems in an undisclosed location outside of the country. Those are those long-range, very precise rocket artillery. How is that system playing a role? Could it play a role in this war, especially at battle out in the eastern part of the country, the Donbass, where Russia seems to just grindingly gain a little bit of ground every day?
Absolutely, Terry. So for Ukrainians, these high, more sophisticated weapons can't come soon enough. They say this is exactly what they need to defend themselves. These are HIMARS. They are more precise. They reach up to 50 miles. And they've come with a guarantee by the Ukrainians that they won't be used to attack Russian territory. But as you say, they are now being trained. The U.S. is now training the Ukrainians in these weapons, and they're at an undisclosed location, but we're not sure exactly when they will be used. We do know that it takes around 3 weeks to train these forces up to be able to use them. And as we know, it's a race against the clock now, especially with those gains that Russia is making in the east.
Right, and the concern that at some point those gains might turn into a breakthrough, although Russia's had so much problem with maneuver warfare. Britt, in Kyiv, thanks very much.
Hi, everyone. George Stephanopoulos here. Thanks for checking out the ABC News YouTube channel. If you'd like to get more videos, show highlights, and watch live event coverage, click on the right over here to subscribe to our channel. And don't forget to download the ABC News app for breaking news alerts. Thanks for watching.